Hello people, I am Sky Demolisher and welcome to Chapter 8 of our Let's Play of Transformers Fall of Cybertron. This week is Combaticons Combine, and we will be playing as Bruticus in the location of the Autobot transport. Starscream has botched the plan, but the Combaticons aren't giving up. It's time for Bruticus to bring the Autobots to heel. Once and for all.
Swindle, take down those anti-aircraft guns. I need to bring the dropship closer. On it!
Well, that didn't go to plan. There we go. Always make sure that you line up those grappling points.
That'll slow it down.
Detecting Swindle, Merchant of Renown.
Well, we certainly hope that is going to slow it down. We'll use the rocket launcher like we normally do. And we will... I'll pick up an Energon recharger this week as well. I don't need to worry about our perks. All our perks are good. See ya.
Alert! Decepticons in range!
See, I really like that they've sort of weathered this this ship. You know, it really adds to that authenticity of it being like this old, broken down, gas guzzling giant. Although that's not exactly how Ironhide referred to it. Well, maybe it was Perceptor. It was a few episodes ago. But I like it, you know, it looks dirty and old and weathered, and yet we still have a lot of light. And stuff. I think, you know, like these past couple, being able to see how they're popping out the missile launchers from their shoulders and stuff, I think actually really adds to the characters. Yeah, as was pointed out in the previous game, the weapons tend to be attached at their limbs.
Swindle, you should be able to reach the anti-air cannons from the catwalks along the outside of the transport. I'll get those guns offline.
I mean, isn't that magnificent looking? Of course, the original Ark didn't have weapons like that on it.
Fly. Why did it just do that to begin with? Probably takes a lot of energy to float that hunk of junk. Really? Because if you calculate its total mass and... Focus, Swindle! Decepticons! This is Starscream! The mission is lost!
Obviously, we can't jump that distance.
You've got to be kidding, we disable the transport?
Oh wait, we can, but it was pull object.
Shot him right up, didn't I?
Now, I can't look it up at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that's Steve Bloom. Yeah, a good old Cowboy Bebop Spike. Look. What?
Oh yeah.
That was almost an aerial ballet. Yeah, aerial ballet. Yeah. So in like the original cartoon, the Ark was actually like a science ship, so it wasn't really armed to.
Ammo. My favorite things.
It wasn't an armed transport like this thing. And what's it? I believe it's called the Exelon, the ship from Beast Wars that the Maximals use. Although it's a science ship, it still had turrets.
Swindle, you get the first anti-air cannon yet? Yeah. As soon as I figure it out. Maybe if I just blow all the shells. Woo! Wish I had one of these at home. Decepticons in proximity.
Oops. Ah well.
What's the target?
The door closed on me.
Where'd he go? No!
Wow. He's off.
We'll shut you down from onslaught. First gun offline.
There we go.
Genius. Head around the back to hit the other one. Never that simple.
Man, he did very well to stay out of my fire, or I did a horrible job of shooting him. I'm trying to think, where am I going? This way. Like our good old, long established, I don't need a map. However, I will use this to rearm myself. So I will pick up another one of those energon recharges.
It is doubtful that you will survive Star Spring's leadership.
I think that's, whoops, somewhat true. I mean, Starscream was never the best of leaders. Always believed he was. Never actually was. Thank you, blast off.
Stop messing around, Swindle, and use your booster. Oh, toasty.
Oh yes. One forgets the heat exchange there.
Seriously? We're still trying to board this thing with dropships? I haven't stopped the AA guns yet. Think of this as an encouragement to hurry the scrap up.
See, they even have their own version of
Onslaught. The Autobots are sabotaging
swearing.
the shield coupling. Thought they might try that. Already on our way. Oh, I'm so scared. Shield controls look fried. We need another
See,
way to
these particular ones sort of remind me of Chrome Dome,
see the shield hold up to that. Now that's
one
what
of the
I'm talking
headmasters.
about. Decepticon, over there. Lay down suppressing fire.
I know I could just go straight for the dropship, but where's the fun in that?
Swindle, quit messing around and hop on the dropship turret now.
Alright, alright. No need to get your knickers in a twist.
Swindle, take that gun out now before it takes us out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That guy.
Gotta get that fixed. Always with the rockets. It's us or them, Swindle. Hit it. Can't take another hit like that, Swindle. But that left a big dent. Now we're talking. need to take control of this ship. Combaticons, combine into Bruticus.
Here we go.
Bruticus online! Ready for action!
With this flamethrower,
Shoot it!
there's a bit of a melee action there. Now, until recently, I would say, Bruticus was actually one of the best combiner toys available for people.
That thing is huge!
Good old ground pound.
Grenade downrange!
And you can use Vortex's blades as a shield.
Come on, that's right, lead it!
So if you're really sadistic, you can just, you know, wander around lighting everyone on fire if you really want. I mean, it's going to take you longer to do it. I believe even the shield has offensive capabilities though. Yeah. Which might be better. I'm sure that this was the way through. Maybe not. It's been a long time.
This is
Oh yeah, there we
too
go.
easy.
It was actually the other way. Yeah, so like in the past couple years we've got like box kits with full you know, full combiner squad. So I believe there's Victorion, Superion, Menasor, Devastator, Defensor, and Bruticus. All, and Predacane. All have their own, like, full squad boxes. Unfortunately, not all of them were released. Yeah, sorry, were released in New Zealand. So, like, I think for Bruticus we got the Generation 2 Fruticus paint job and the Generation 2 Superion.
Maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
But prior to that, you had to buy them individually.
Get those flaps lowered
So unfortunately, in New Zealand, what happened was we got all bar one of the aerial bots, and the one non-aerial bot we got, I think, is Drag Strip from
Don't let that thing
the
take control of the
Stunticons.
ship.
Which resulted in a lot of people with the Superion that has a Decepticon arm, and the collectors like myself ended up ordering them from overseas. So in my case, I was very, very lucky that
Retreat, retreat.
I'll let you watch this.
Combaticons! I told you to abort! The mission is lost! Who are you to defy me?
I've heard enough of his orders. We're going down! Vortex, blast off! Grab hold of the flight controls. Engines are shot, Onslaught! Best we can manage is a controlled crash! Then manage it! We're too steep! Pull up! I'm trying! Brace yourselves!
Congratulations, Onslaught. As a result of your failure to obey my orders, you and your Combaticons destroyed half of the energon supply in that crash.
Are you kidding, Starscream? The Autobots would have taken it all. My team salvaged an operation that you screwed up from the get-go.
No one addresses the leader of the Decepticons in such a manner. Arrest them!
I'm not entirely sure that you'd actually want to crash a ship that was full of energon. That seems like a really crazy thing to do, in my mind. Particularly how volatile that stuff can be, so the fact that they only lost half is pretty commendable there. Now, as I was saying before that cutscene, I was lucky that I shared my story around mental illness to be published in a book. And when I did that, I ended up with, I think it was a $100 voucher for Amazon. So I was able to get the missing Stunticons and that one missing aerial bot that I needed to complete Superion and Menasor, who were the first two combiners that I ever really owned. Which is kind of odd to say, because I actually own the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, but I never opened it. So I have 5 carded figures that just sort of sit there. I had always intended to open them, but then of course the Christchurch earthquakes happened and they went into storage, and then after I got them out, it was like a couple years later and I never got around to opening them, because I couldn't easily replace opened or unopened figures with opened ones. And I thought, well, I'll just get around to it another time, and that other time ended up being never. And I ended up with the Combiner Wars Bruticus instead, who I also got as individual figures. So anyway, that at least finishes that story, so that I'm not leaving an unfinished story in one of these videos. I hope that you enjoyed that episode. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. Now, the way I've cut this means that there's like a kind of spoiler for the next episode. So the next episode, I'm not entirely sure if I'll have one of my normal intros to it. Purely because I kind of want to have that surprise come out, which is really, really weird considering this game is like 8 years old now. So the surprise is no longer really a surprise if you look it up. And I suppose isn't a surprise if you remember the first episode of this. But just in case it can be a surprise, I would like it to be a surprise. So join me next week for Chapter 9. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.